Okay, so it is the top of the hour and we are going to get started today, and we are going to be talking about 60 minutes to an epic social media strategy, obviously focused on real estate professionals. So thanks to you for joining us. If you are having technical glitches, then please feel free to disconnect and reconnect, and oftentimes many of those do go away. Also know that I'm on here by myself, so if you have questions, of course, use the question panel, but be very patient. I will get to all your questions as the webinar continues. And so we're going to get started. I'm really excited to talk about social media. Obviously, it's what everyone's doing, where a lot of our real estate, where a lot of our prospective clients are, and where they are, we can, build and sustain really valuable relationships, which will help us and provide longevity for our own careers as real estate professionals. So as we get started, today we're going to talk about how to develop kind of a deliberate and very controlled social media strategy that gets you noticed in a noisy world. And we're also going to talk about becoming creating kind of a master plan for helping you stay top of mind. And I've got a couple of really cool tips for how to do that. And also some simple strategies for engaging current and past clients through Facebook. I'm going to talk about optimizing your LinkedIn and keeping your Facebook fresh, providing some best practices for creating meaningful interaction on Instagram, and considering I'm going to go over some apps and little tools that will enhance your productivity on social media. And of course, I am available throughout, but predominantly at the end, or primarily at the end, to answer your questions. So thank you to all of those who are joining us right now. And I am Melissa Zavala. I am a broker, author, and trainer. You can subscribe or read my articles about enhancing productivity in real estate, which is really, I found that there are a lot of very little things that you can do to tweaks that you can make to your own practices, which will not only save you time, but make you more efficient. And in real estate, we spin so many plates and we do so many things that it is really vital that we be as productive as possible. So you can read more about how I do that, my tips on that, on melissazavala.com. Also a contributor to The Real Daily, which is an online magazine. It's kind of a department of the American Genius magazine, and you can buy any of my books and products on Amazon.com. If after the webinar you want to connect with me, of course you can find me all over social media, and you feel free if you have a very specific question or want to chit chat some more to email me at info@melissazavala.com, and I'll be more than happy to respond to your emails. So before we really jump into some of the little, I'm not going to be, this is not going to be an earth-shattering, life-changing webinar, but I know that there are a couple of tricks I'm going to show you today that you probably aren't doing, which are really going to help you save time and be more efficient and make some more meaningful connections. But before we jump into that, let's have a look at a couple of things about social media, which you got to consider as you make that strategy or plan for yourself. Well, according to the most recent National Association of Realtors survey, 88% of people said they would use their real estate agent again. You've probably heard statistics like this before. They've been around for a while, so you're not going to be surprised when I tell you that only 11% did use the same agent again. Why is that? We always say it's because we don't keep in contact. We close the deal and we get so busy with other things that we don't have kind of a good way to keep in contact. A lot of us are using direct mail and regular postcards to past clients, but now we have social media also. So it's way easier to stay top of mind afterwards. I'm going to show you some secrets for that. But the other challenge we're finding now is that the space is really, really noisy. And what I mean by that is there are so many distractions. Like when I go on Facebook, I see so many posts from other realtors, and of course that's because a lot of my friends are realtors, but there are so many things on my feed, and then there's remarketing on the side, maybe if I've gone on a website. So there is so much. So how do you draw attention to yourself in that very, very noisy space? And that's what we're going to talk about. And one of the additional challenges is that the average attention span has decreased, and it's been continuing to decrease over time. And I know you're not surprised by that. If you think, according to statistics, the average attention span was 12 seconds in 2000 and went down to 8 seconds in 2013. And I recently heard reported in 2016 at 7 seconds. So I tried to test and pilot those statistics myself. And so what I did was, every time I watch a video when I'm running through my Facebook feed, I see how long I look at it until I get bored, and it's generally about 7 seconds before I want to click away. So not only is the space, because the space is so noisy, you really have to be very focused on how are you going to get someone's attention and sustain it in those 7 seconds. And we're going to get you're going to get some tips from me on how to do that today. So we're going to talk about how to hit your target group and sustain relationships in that noisy social media space for the rest of the hour. Now, the one thing that I need to say, though, is we really need to be, because as I said, we spin so many plates, we really need to be very, very controlled and deliberate and create intention in what we do. So we're going to create a meaningful, deliberate, and kind of intentional social media strategy for real estate that's not going to be, that's not going to change, you know, when we get angry and throw a fit at a restaurant because we didn't get the right plate. So it's going to be very intentional and controlled. And if we can keep it to the times of day, setting a little bit of time each day or once a week to schedule those posts and do all those things, then you will get noticed in that space, and you will free up time to be out in the field working with home buyers and home sellers. So it's a win-win all around. So I'm going to go through basically 4 different social media sites and ways you can enhance your social presence on each of those. And we're going to start by talking about LinkedIn. So a lot of people, So a lot of people say LinkedIn, you know, I'm not really on LinkedIn. I would advocate, or I would say that LinkedIn is really the first place that you want to be. And you don't have to be there all the time, but you want to take time to really update or refresh or enhance your LinkedIn profile. Why? Because when you go on a listing appointment, or when you've set up a listing appointment, or if someone has heard about you and they want to set up a listing appointment, they're probably going to be looking on LinkedIn to check you out. They'll probably Google your name. LinkedIn will show up in the, you know, on page 1. They'll click on it, and maybe they'll connect with you on LinkedIn, but they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile, because that's your professional profile. That's your online resume. So that's where we're going to want to spend some time. And there are some tweaks that you can do to your LinkedIn profile to get yourself really looking really, really awesome. And if you haven't spent some time there recently, then you definitely want to. And I would, in addition to looking at my LinkedIn profile, there's a few other profiles that you may want to look at. There's someone named Carlos Gonzalez, I believe, or Gutierrez, excuse me, in La Jolla, California. He's got a really, really good LinkedIn profile. And I have to remember the name of the other lady, but what you're going to want to do is kind of borrow some of the things that you see to add those to your LinkedIn profile. So let's talk a little bit more about LinkedIn. So 28% of professional men are on LinkedIn and 27% of women. And obviously the highest, as far as the demographics go, most of the people on LinkedIn are between 30 to 64, and they're urban or suburban primarily. And the income of 44% of the users of LinkedIn have an income of over $75,000, and 50% are college graduates. So there's a lot of really professional people on there. Not only can you connect with other people, but they'll be looking at you as well. So what are you going to do first on LinkedIn? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your picture. How does your picture look? Does it really look like how you look now? I would say if it's more than 10 years old, you may want to update that photo. I would really, really encourage you to consider your photo being the same across all of your social media profiles. So that way you have a very a concise and clear brand across all of your social media spaces. And for cover photos, if you could make those match or be cohesive also, that would help a lot as well. So you're going to want to if you have a good cover profile photo there and it's not the same as your profile photo on your Facebook business page, you're going to want to be consistent with that. Second thing is so that's easy. And that only takes a few minutes. Now, I would say that, as I recall, LinkedIn is kind of challenging with uploading the photos, so pay attention to the size of the photo that they need in order to make it happen. And you can edit the size of your photo on Ribbit.com really, really easily. You just upload the picture. You don't even need an account or anything. And you just tell it what size it needs to be, and it will edit and it'll crop or resize your picture for you. Then you download it and you upload it into LinkedIn. Skills and expertise. So you're going to want to make sure that your summary section has all your skills in there, and you're going to want to probably go very, very hyper local. Mention all of the local areas that you work, and depending on, you know, what part of the United States you're in, you may work 3 or 4 different cities because they're all very close together. So for example, I'm in North San Diego County. So agents from my office work Encinitas, Carlsbad, Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, Escondido Valley Center, Rancho Bernardo. So you're going to want to mention all of those communities that you're a specialist. You can even get more local if you are one specific homeowners association area or a neighborhood that you are the king or queen of. You can mention those in there as well, because all of those are keywords that are going to optimize your profile a little bit better. So make sure to add the hyper local stuff. Next, what you're going to want to do, oh, somebody said it. So it's Ribbit for editing photos. R-I-B-B-E-T, not Reddit. Ribbit. RIBBET.com. So, okay. So the next thing you're going to want to do is verify your contact information and make sure that it's up to date. I am all about getting you off of your @yahoo.com, @gmail.com, @roadrunner.com, @sbcglobal.com. I'm really an advocate in 2016 for getting on a domain. And I am lately in love with doing it through Google because they seem to be the most reliable. So if you own your name, like I remember I said for you to email me at info@melissazavala.com. I own melissazavala.com, and I check my email and receive my email through Google Apps. So basically I go on Gmail and I type in info@melissazavala.com and my password, and it works just like Gmail, but it's extremely reliable, more than a lot of the domain provider email accounts. So verify your contact information, make sure it's up to date, make sure your email is up to date in there, and this may be a time to consider transitioning and kind of upping your game to use a domain-based email, because everyone knows the other ones are free. You look like a extremely well-oiled machine if you've got everything going through your domain. So verify your contact information and make sure that's up to date. So those 3 things should be relatively easy for you to do. The next thing, and I'm going to show you a picture of how to do this, is we're going to want to work on our endorsements, and I'll explain why shortly when we get to that slide. And another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to publish content. Just recently, fairly recently, LinkedIn started allowing you to add blog posts, content to LinkedIn. So if you want to get noticed, you're going to want to publish a little bit of content on LinkedIn. If you have a blog post from somewhere else, I haven't read anything that discourages you from putting up duplicate content in LinkedIn yet. There may be some SEO negatives for that, but you may want to put up a little bit of content in LinkedIn in the blog area. Another thing that you can do is you can take your database. If you have a database that you can export as an Excel spreadsheet or CSV, you can upload that into LinkedIn. LinkedIn will identify the people that you aren't connected with yet and send them invitations to connect to you on LinkedIn. So this is your database maybe that you're sending an email newsletter to outside, every 2 weeks that you've collected names over the years. Well, you're probably not connected to all of those people on LinkedIn. And so since you're not, why not export that database, upload it into LinkedIn, and then make those connections on LinkedIn? Because you want all the people that you're trying to connect with to think, Melissa is everywhere. Oh my gosh, I see her everywhere. And that embeds trusts, that elevates your position. And so why not? You already have the data, just upload it into LinkedIn. And then you also want to get recommended. So we're going to talk about the endorsements and getting recommended. So as you know, recommendations are the thing. I once spoke with an agent about 2 years ago who she and her partner had 45 Yelp reviews, and they were getting about 2 listings a week, cold calls off of people that read those Yelp reviews. So the power of recommendations for me, I'm always looking on Nordstrom.com and Zappos or wherever I'm going to buy something to read what other people are saying about the shoes or the bags or whatever I'm going to order. So there's a lot of power to those recommendations or those endorsements or those reviews. So make sure that you get some recommendations on LinkedIn. And one way to get them is to give them. So, you can reach out to people and ask them if they can give you a recommendation. There's a button you can click where you can ask people through LinkedIn to give you a recommendation, and it even gives you the opportunity to approve it before it goes live. But one thing you might want to do is go out and put some recommendations on for your lender partners. And then, they'll be surprised and delighted because they didn't ask you for them, and maybe they will return the favor. So you've got to give in order to receive. So get as many recommendations as you can. For me, periodically, about once every year or two, I'll go out and I'll do a push, and I'll try and get some additional recommendations on Yelp, which is not one of the sites we're going to be discussing today, but I think it's worthy of mentioning. In order to get your Yelp reviews seen, you need to give a lot of Yelp reviews. Yelp has this algorithm, and it identifies people and gives credence to regular reviewers. So about every month or so, I go in and I do about 3 to 4 reviews for other businesses, so that when I give a review related to real estate or to somebody else, I know that my review will show. I've had people come to me and say, Melissa, I gave you a review, your company a review on Yelp. And then I'm like, I don't see it there. And I go and there's this little button at the bottom. It says, view reviews that aren't recommended, or you have 4 reviews that aren't visible. So they hide the ones that they don't believe have a lot of credence because those people aren't big Yelpers. So definitely, get some reviews on LinkedIn, and then work on your reviews on your other sites as well. And then as far as endorsements, I'm sure you've seen this section before. If you're ever on LinkedIn, you probably get emails that say, so-and-so endorsed you for X skill. Okay, so I've been working with someone that's a real specialist with LinkedIn, and what he advises is that you look at your skills and endorsements section on your own LinkedIn and really focus on getting 99 pluses in all of your categories. There can be up to 50 categories here, but do you really need all 50 categories? So what I did recently is I went back and I looked at each of the categories, and I deleted the ones that weren't really relevant to what I'm trying to do. So I have been big in the past in the short sale world, doing a lot of speaking on pre-foreclosures and foreclosures, which is how I got all of these reviews with REO, foreclosure, and short sale. But what I found interestingly is when I went on here the other day, I noticed that short sale was at the top. And I don't want short sale at the top. Right now, I run a real estate brokerage, so maybe I want real estate at the top. So you can actually reorder by clicking right here, your skill area, and put your skill that you want to be recognized for the most at the top. Because remember, when people come to LinkedIn to look at you to see if they want to hire you to be their agent, you're going to want real estate to be up there, maybe listing agent, luxury homes, negotiations, whatever skills you want at the top, you want to think strategically and mindfully about what those are. And so, and then you can delete any that aren't relevant. So I spend a little bit of time on that. And then what you can do is, what the other side, the flip side of the endorsements thing is, you can endorse other people. And the good thing is you will stay top of mind with the people you endorse. So when you endorse someone, if they haven't changed their notifications, they're going to get an email saying you endorsed them, and they're going to get a message in LinkedIn saying you endorsed them. So you can, remember, people have up to 50 skills there. So you can make a list of your maybe referral partners or people you want to get referrals from, maybe attorneys, maybe just think of your strategic alliances and who you want to get referrals from. And what you can do is you can start endorsing those individuals once a week or so on different categories that they have. And so once a week, they're going to see something that said, Melissa endorsed you for X skill. Melissa endorsed you the following week for Y skill. So you'll become top of mind with those people. So not only do you want to be mindful and deliberate in how you set up your skills and endorsements, but then you want to go out and endorse people in a mindful way in order to stay top of mind and create engagement. And then, yeah, so that's what you can, those are some cool things that you can do with LinkedIn. And so reducing your skills to 15 to 20 of your top skills, organizing them in such a way, shooting to get 99 plus in each area, and then using the endorsements to stay top of mind with others. So moving on, we're going to talk about Facebook personal and business pages a little bit. So as far as key demographics, we know that like everybody's on Facebook except for now the younger kids. We're going to talk about them in a little while, but they're all over Snapchat these days. But we've got 87% of 18 to 29-year-olds on Facebook, 73% of 30 to 49-year-olds, 63% of 50 to 64-year-olds, and 56% of 65 plus. So this is a very, very high demographic. And if you want to be targeting baby boomers and even what, you know, older adults, you may want to be working Facebook. You might find them more on Facebook. They're definitely on email. Email is a great place for them because they do use email to communicate with, you know, their friends and relatives and things like that, even if they're not on social media. Gender, they've got 77% women Facebook users and 66% men. And look at this, across, kind of very close across locations, rural, suburban, and urban. So anyone that's got internet is pretty much on Facebook. And then as far as income levels, across the board, very high. And 74%, you know, just very high use. 74% college graduates, 71% of some college, and 70% high school or less. So here are some tips with regard to Facebook, and I'm going to give you some really good examples of those that may make you kind of rethink or change some of your strategies on Facebook. So you definitely want to be a storyteller. You know, if you're out there just talking about, you know, just sharing articles about real estate all the time, you may, you know, people don't go on Facebook to read articles about real estate. If they want to read articles about real estate, they're going to go somewhere else. So you definitely want to make a meaningful connection and be a storyteller, and how you're going to bring real estate into that story is how you're going to connect with people on Facebook. So you're going to want to demonstrate authenticity and transparency. I'm going to show you some good examples of storytelling and authenticity and transparency in just a minute. And you're going to want to be controlled and deliberate. I'm going to talk about how to create a great strategy for Facebook by being controlled and deliberate. And we're going to do that with creating lists to weed through the noise. Remember, we were talking about that noise before, how that Facebook space is so noisy. And I'm going to show you this strategy that I guarantee you're not using, which is going to help you with that. And you're going to want to use a lot of photo and video. Remember, people only are going to pay attention for 7 seconds to 8 seconds. And statistics show that the eyes process visuals 60,000 times more quickly than text. So you're going to want to have big, gorgeous photos, engaging video. And lastly, definitely set up your notifications. So if you've got a Facebook business page and you're not getting your notifications set up, or your Facebook Messenger is not active all the time on your phone, then you're going to miss out on some messages and some, you know, and you may miss out on an opportunity to show a home or to be that buyer's agent. So this is really a great example. I just pulled this the other day. So Sheldon Neal, if you're not following him or friends with him, he's a real estate agent in RE/MAX on the East Coast, and he has a killer social media strategy. He's a great person to look at. He has tons of engagement. He is a top producing agent, but he just kills it with the social media. So here's just something he posted the other day. He's got a picture of himself with a sold sign. And I guess this is his son. He says, "Apple didn't fall far from the tree, methinks." He's got this picture of his kid on the right. So what is he doing? He's sharing like a little snippet of his personal life, his kid. And some people elect not to bring their children into their social media space for personal reasons. And he's subtly connecting it with his real estate. But he's not saying, "Hey, I sell houses, check out my new listing." He's just making that subtle, very, very authentic and light connection to real estate. So it's, I thought this was very, very clever. He posted it on the 19th, and I believe I saw it on the 20th, and he already had 139 likes, and he also had, I don't know how many, tons and tons of comments on there. So I thought that was very, very clever. So again, this is for Facebook, and this is just Sheldon Neal, who I checked out. And so you could just look him up and friend him. I'm sure he'll friend you back. And then you can follow his stuff. He may be in the followers now. He may have more than 5,000 friends. Okay, this is another one that I want you to consider. So post ideas from your, here's some post ideas for your personal profile. So I pulled this from Deb Maxwell. She's a really great agent. And she's also on the East Coast. So here she just put a picture of her cat, and she used Ripple, which we'll be talking about shortly, in order to create like a little kind of engaging thing with her cat. And she wrote, "No more running to the door to greet our guests. Charlotte now guards the front door from the staircase." And she used a few hashtags. So here's just something really, it's a very light, personal, because she has a cat. It's a little bit cute. She called it a guard cat, and she did get a lot of engagement on that. So, so one thing you can always do is share something funny or personal, the way that Deb or Sheldon did. You can also talk about why you love real estate, or you can share a success story, or you can give clients a shout out. So you can say, congrats to my clients on getting their new place, or maybe they just opened a business. It doesn't even have to be related to that. Or you can recognize a group or organization for helping you, for contributing, for something like that. But you definitely want to engage and be light on your personal page. And the best rule of thumb is 80% not real estate, 20% real estate on your personal page. Of course, Facebook guidelines encourage you to have a business page, which is really a good idea for Facebook ads, and we're going to be talking about those in a little while. So remember, you need to be so good at what you're doing that you're noticed in that noisy space. So Seth Godin, famous marketer, says, "Until you remove the noise, you're going to miss a lot of signal." So you've got to remove that noise by standing out. So here's what I wanted to show you, and I think this is the greatest idea ever. And so what you're going to do is you're going to use Facebook lists. And right here is this. So if you take down nothing else for the rest of the hour, write this down, facebook.com, or take a screenshot or whatever, facebook.com/bookmarks/lists. So Facebook, if you weren't aware of this already, gives you the opportunity to create lists or little groups of people. Okay, so you're going to want to create. So here, you can kind of see, I just pulled this from my personal page, and I guess my high school's on here, my colleges are on here, my office is on here. So these groups are naturally created groups. You can also create your own. So I would say create a list of your current clients, and then a separate list of past clients, referral partners, and potential clients. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through your Facebook friends and you're going to filter through and you're going to assign some of these people to one of these two lists. Okay, why are you doing this? Here's why. Because you can click on a list and then your news feed will only show those people's posts. So if you click on your past client, referral partner, and potential client list, you will only see in your news feed posts from those individuals. And remember, the way to make meaningful interaction, the way to get future business is to stay top of mind. How are you going to stay top of mind? You're going to like and comment and engage with those people on the list. Then you can go to your current clients and you can do the same thing. So remember, I said we want to only spend a few minutes a day, a few minutes a week on social media because we need to be out in the field, going to inspections, meeting clients, things like that. So every morning or when you get on your computer and you check your email, go to your Facebook, click on those two lists and click and engage and wish happy birthday and all of that stuff. You can also post to the list groups as well. So if you do that, you will be continuously engaging with the people that you hope will either refer you business or give you business or hire you or recommend you to their friends in the future. So remember, facebook.com/bookmarks/lists. Because big relationships are built with small and continuous interactions over the course of time. So you don't just go out and get this $2 million listing just from a phone call. There's a reason. Either they've been looking at you on LinkedIn, they've been reading your blogs, they've talked to you on the phone, they've known you a long time, you sold their uncle or cousin or sister or relative a house. So in order to keep or create those big relationships, you're going to want to use those lists. And I need to really emphasize that it's about the marathon and not about the sprint. So I have worked with a lot of agents and they say, what do I need to do to get business? And of course I say, well, you need to be on social media, you need to do email newsletters, you need to work a geographic farm if you want to do that. But you're never going to get, only 2% of people will buy from you in the first meeting. So you need to do this for a long time. I have been, if any of you get my email newsletter, I have been sending out that email newsletter since 2008, every Tuesday morning. So when I just went and did a speaking engagement a few weeks ago and somebody came up to me, she goes, I get your newsletter all the time. And she started talking to me about some things. And people tell me that all the time. So that's my marathon. It's not my sprint, all right? And then so what happens is because of this marathon, people call me and they say, hey, come list my house. And that's when I say, well, I'm a broker. I'm not an agent anymore. So here, let me refer you to one of the agents in my office. But that's because of my marathon has been way more than 26.2 miles. So you've got to be willing to commit to this for the long haul and find a way to do this quickly and efficiently. Because if you're going to, if you're going to spend your whole day on it, it's like, have you ever gone on those websites and people set up a website and it looks really pretty, but then you click on a link and they haven't even created the second page? It's like they got started, but they got so overwhelmed by whatever else was going on, they didn't go back and create the whole thing. So you've got to find your comfort zone where you can, do the whole thing, do the marathon and keep on running that marathon. So okay, so transition. So that's really how you can work with your personal page, with the lists, and with kind of like engaging posts that mention different things, but don't go off script too much, and don't, be real controlled and measured in what you're saying. And obviously you don't want to alienate anyone. And so what I talk about, my best example is with me. I really enjoy taking yoga classes, and I love the stretching, I love the exercise and these hot yoga classes. But what I found is if I talk about it too much on Facebook, I've had people come up to me that have these preconceived notions about what yoga is, and they think I'm meditating all the time, and maybe they have an idea about my diet, that I'm a vegan, which I'm not, or I vote a certain way. all because of yoga. They just have these associations. So you're going to want to be really deliberate about what you say and talk about, and to engage the right people. So with Deb Maxwell, we saw she has a cat, so she's engaging the cat people. And with Sheldon, you saw his kids, so you got a connection with him. Oh, your family, your son's so cute, things like that. So be controlled and think about what you want to share. A lot of times if I'm going on vacation, I don't want to share too much vacation stuff because I'm a little worried that people might think, well, if she's on vacation, she's not working. And I don't want to not get that call because somebody sees that I'm on this vacation. So you do have to kind of think about all those things as you schedule your posts. So for the business page, of course, as I mentioned before, the guidelines do state that you want to have a business page. And if you want to do any advertising or boosting, you can't do that from your personal page anyway. You're not supposed to sell anything from your personal page. So you're going to want to post regularly. You don't want to be like that website that doesn't have all the content. I went on a page yesterday that didn't have a post since 2013, a Facebook business page. So you want to develop a strategy for posting regularly. And you can schedule posts. We're blessed that you can do that now. You couldn't originally. So now you can actually do the scheduling right through Facebook. And there's some other apps that will help you with that as well. You want to use lots of videos and photos. I'm going to give you a few ideas about that. And you really want to create a marketing calendar. And I'll talk about the content, what the calendar is going to look like. And again, you want to set up notifications. So if someone messages you, you're going to want to get it on your phone, because if you're only going on once a day or once a week to your business page, even though it's posting regularly, people are looking at that 24 hours a day and they may message you. My phone beeped in the middle of the night because somebody went on our Commissions Inc. site and the lead wasn't assigned to an agent. So, people are on 24/7, even if you're asleep. So scheduling content. So like I said, you can use Facebook Scheduler to schedule your content. There's even a Facebook Pages app, which is really cool. You can have that on your phone. And I also like Hootsuite and Buffer for scheduling content across. So if you wanted to have the same content across multiple social media sites, Twitter or other sites, you can do that through Hootsuite and Buffer, Google+, things like that. You can also, some people like Hootsuite or Buffer as opposed to Facebook Scheduler, because even if you're going to have different content for each of the sites, you can kind of organize that all and have that all scheduled through one of those other social media management platforms. And the other thing you might want to do about your content is you might want to, you got to work on your marketing calendar. So you want to say, okay, what am I going to do? Like I told you that people come to me because every Tuesday they're looking for my newsletter. Maybe you want to have your Mondays, your market update day. You can do a little video market update. And then of course there's Throwback Thursday. So you might always want to do a Throwback Thursday picture. You can create regular things for each day of the week, or however often you want to be on social media. And so then you don't have to really reinvent the wheel. You've got a plan. Okay, every Monday I'm doing my market update. Every Tuesday I'm promoting a listing. Every Friday I'm announcing my open houses for the weekend. And then you don't have to worry. It's just like a routine. So you just think about that. So as far as the content ideas for your page, you can talk about local real estate. So maybe a favorite feature of one of your new listings, maybe a picture of your clients at the closing table, picture of your clients with a sold sign. We see those a lot. You could share maybe a post from your company's website, or like I said, a Monday market update, perhaps a video with that, or maybe a photo or video of a past client, how you help them, things like that. Another thing you can do is community info. That can be your Tuesday activity. So for community info, maybe a photo of your favorite coffee shop in your neighborhood, or maybe it's back to school day, or the calendar for the local activities at the concerts at the park. Link to an article about the upcoming community events. Best dog park in your area, things like that. Then you can have your national real estate. So that's where you can bring in maybe an article from the National Association of Realtors, housingwire.com, New York Times article, anything about national real estate, interest rates, things like that. Then personal interest, you can do something with personal interest on Thursday, family-friendly places to visit, why you love where you live, different local, local sports team. Maybe you went to the Chargers game or the Red Sox, things like that. And then of course, home and design. So that's where people really engage with the home and design. So before and after bathroom, kitchen pictures, landscaping remodels, holiday home decorating, articles from HGTV, photos of your favorite home. Maybe you're on a broker caravan and you love the design or the view of this home, stuff like that. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just make a routine, stick to it, schedule it. You don't have to worry. But you got to think beyond right now, because if you're thinking only in now, you're not intentional. And then you're in the sprint, you're not doing the marathon. So that's why you want to program everything. We see this is a little off topic, but what we see going on in politics right now is a lot of people talking off script in the news. You want to stay on script right now. You want to schedule everything and be organized with that. So I really like Canva for creating visuals. If you haven't gone on there, it is free. I believe it's $119 a year for the business version, but you don't need that, okay? So what Canva has, see right here, if you can see the screen, it's got this stuff already. So if you like that layout, you just swap the picture and you change the words and you've got something that you can post. And it's got the dimensions by pixels. So what's the perfect optimized size for Facebook? What's the perfect optimized size for Instagram? What's the perfect, optimized size for if you want to do a cover for your Facebook or whatever. So canva.com, and you can create your visuals. And I use those for my blog posts just to get the text on top of the pictures, things like that. So definitely look at Canva as far as, so if you're creating, so when you're sitting down to do your week of posts, say, 2 of them are going to be big pictures visual, you can create those or edit those or put a filter on them through Canva, things like that. And so let's talk about video on Facebook. And I've got a fun video I'm going to show you in just a minute, but video on Facebook is, as we said before, is really engaging. People spend more time looking at video and photos than they do on text, so you definitely want to do video. And one of the, I'm going to show you a really cool video right now, but one of the things that I learned was that if you link to a YouTube video, that's great, but Facebook does not like that as much as if you upload your MP4 onto Facebook. So if you have a video that you have on YouTube, if you also have the MP4 and you can upload it into Facebook, that will be really, really good for engagement. So if this works, I wanted to show you this really funny 2-minute video that this guy did, and it got so much engagement. And this guy, I wanted to put his name down here, Terry Wagoner, Ferris Property Group. You should watch him. He's got some really cool videos, and they're a lot of fun. And he has a lot of personality, and not all of us are going to be brave enough to do some of the things that he's done. So let's see if I can get this going now.
Hey there, sport. Headed to an open house this weekend? Which one? How about this one? 1732 Calvert Farms Drive in Greenwood from noon until 2 p.m.
So what just happened here? So it didn't look like it. Let me see if I can get through the whole thing.
Hey there, sport. Headed to an open house this weekend? Which one? How about this one? 1732 Calvert Farms Drive in Greenwood from noon until 2 p.m. Great! And to help you, here are 6 steps you'll need to have a great time. Follow the neighborhood signs to locate the open house. It should be very simple for you to just follow the arrows to get to the right place. Literally, just follow the arrows. Just walk in the direction they're pointing. There you go, sport! Now that you're inside, confidently stride across the room to meet the real estate agent there. This real estate agent is helpful, handsome, friendly, and handsome. Now, take some time walking through the house to see what all the home has to offer. Wouldn't it be nice to live here? One of the best parts of any open house is the incredible food the agent puts out. Go ahead, son. Help yourself to the spread. Why, you'll enjoy such delicious items as baked Alaska or 5-layer dip with authentic imitation crab meat. Dig right in. this point, some people will try to sneak out a window to leave so they don't have to talk to the real estate agent again. But don't do that, sport. Tell the agent what you thought of the home. After all, he's handsome, and he's here to help you. Now here's the most important thing, son. Make absolutely sure that you buy the house. Yes, you'll be thrilled to join the ranks of the red-blooded American homeowner and be the envy of all of your friends. Well, how about that? You're a homeowner. Congratulations. See you at the open house this weekend.
So he's super clever, and you can see people would probably just want to list with him because his videos are so great. But that was a lot of fun, very subtle way to communicate. And I just think there's a lot that you can do with video. That was just, you know, obviously he had a professional video crew help him with that. And he does a lot of very fun videos. On the other hand, though, you want to, people are now incorporating Facebook Live video into their marketing. This video, which is Lee Brown, she's got this with it. Thanks to Elizabeth for pointing this out to me. She has this tour that she gives of this REO, this foreclosure, which is listed for $39,900 in North Carolina. And she gives this simple REO tour, Facebook Live, so it's very rudimentary. She has 7,600 views, 107 comments, and 25 shares. And so, and she, at the time that I pulled it, she had about 210 people that liked it. So wow, right? Now she probably did boost it, but still, that's really, really a lot of engagement. So you definitely want to consider Facebook Live. People seem to be really engaging with the live stuff, and you kind of got to get over yourself to a degree in order to do that. So check this one out too, Lee Thomas Brown, her foreclosure Facebook Live video. And Realtor.com did a feature on this, so if you just Google it, it'll probably show up in your Google search results. So the thing is, she was having fun. Terry was having fun. So all you have to do is just have fun. If you enjoy real estate, like Michael Jordan says, just play, have fun, and enjoy the game, and you will come up with some really, really good strategies. So let me talk about Facebook ads, because people are a lot of times asking about that. Really good idea to create an album for each of your listings that has professional photography. I really, really advocate professional photography. That being said, our office does get a handful of listings that are fixers that really don't lend themselves to professional photography. But if you've got some beautiful listings where you've got some gorgeous professional photography, definitely make albums. And for the albums get a lot of engagement. And highlight the views and special features. So people aren't just looking for a straight on curb shot, you know, highlight the pool, the barbecue, the entertainment area, some of the really special features of the home. And if you want, you can link to a landing page, something maybe on home value leads or bold leads. You know, if you've got people, if you want to get their information and capture their information, then definitely link to a landing page. Another thing you can do with Facebook ads is create target audiences. So the bottom two, boost using mapping for open houses and creating target audiences, works really, really well for open house. If you want to increase your shows at your open houses, then I would encourage you to use Facebook ads for that. So one of the ways you can do that is you can have a target audience by zip code, by area, a certain age group. You can also do friends of friends. So a lot of times for open houses, friends of friends works really well. So if you have, you know, 400 people that like your page, then friends of friends could bring in, maybe, you know, several thousand people will have that ad in their news stream. And then you have somewhat of a link or connection with the person that's seeing it in the news feed, because it will say, you know, Melissa and Susan are, you know, Susan is Melissa's mutual friend. So you'll have that connection. So then if you go to the open house or you're kind of thinking about buying, then you just feel like there's some embedded trust because you have a friend in common. And if you're doing some open house and it's kind of out of your area, so if you don't have a lot of people following you in that area, so for example, like if I have a listing in a different part of San Diego County that our office doesn't work, then I might use the mapping feature. So you could do the boost to people ages 25 and up within a 10-mile radius of the home, or a 5-mile radius, or a 1-mile radius. And you can use the boost in that way to advertise the open house. Also, this is not about Facebook, but if you do pay to play on Zillow and Trulia, and it's a very good idea to add your open houses there, because you will increase your traffic in that way. So next we're going to talk about Instagram. There have been some questions which I can address afterwards. So Instagram does have a younger demographic. 53% are ages 18 to 29, and 25% are 30 to 49, and it decreases from there, and mostly urban and suburban users. And you can see here from the education, so 24% college graduates, 26% make over $75,000 a year. And really your best use for Instagram is to connect with the community, to connect with clients, and to connect with the next generation. And it's a great way to market properties with professional photography. So what I would recommend that you do is really kind of hunt out some people that have real, in your area or in the United States, other real estate professionals that have a lot of engagement on their Instagram, and see what they're posting, how they're posting their real estate stuff, and borrow some ideas from them and see if you can do them better or differently or more. And so if you're, you can do your community stuff. If you're taking a hike at the lake near your house, definitely you can feature that. Feature the luxury homes, the ocean views. We've got fabulous ocean views in North San Diego County. So, and every Saturday I do a walk by the ocean. The air is wonderful. It's just so beautiful. I can feature that. I can just go on a tour caravan. Wednesdays we have our caravan in this area, and if I see a gorgeous home, I can take a picture of some of the features on that, use one of the filters, make a cool post to Instagram. So those are some of the ways that you can include Instagram. And of course, if you wanted to use Hootsuite or Buffer or one of those, then you can do your program your Instagram posts at the same time, or you can just put them up when you're out and about. But I do like being intentional and controlled. So if you have a strategy, I think that there's a lot of longevity to that. Photo ideas for all social media sites. So not only for Instagram, but you can put these on Facebook as well. Gardens, buildings, doors. People are hot for doors. A red door, a purple door, a cute door with plants around it. Coffee shops, diners, happy clients, windows, views, listing photos, as long as they're professional, all that stuff. But in the case of Lee Brown, she did a tour of something that, wasn't showing well. So you can figure out some clever ways to do maybe your not so photogenic listings at the same time. So here's some tools that can help you succeed as we're coming to the end of the webinar. So WordSwag. First of all, I told you about Ribbit for cropping, RIBBET.com. And I told you about Canva for editing your pictures. WordSwag is good for uploading a photo on your phone and then adding some text on top of it and then just posting it to social media. Ripple and Pick, Post, Play are somewhat similar in that they allow you to make slideshows and for your social media posts. And Regram is great for Instagram. And then Hootsuite and Buffer are good for social media scheduling. And of course, we talked about how Facebook has the social media scheduling built in as well. So Hootsuite has you can do a free account for Hootsuite. If you have more than there are minimum number of social media sites, then you would have to pay. And I think it's $9 a month for that. So what is then the next big thing? And should you follow that dangling carrot? Well, that's up to you. There's a lot going on. It's definitely hard to manage all the social media sites and still get out and show homes and go to inspections and negotiate contracts and all of that stuff. So Periscope, which is a live stream app, that's real big right now. People are looking at that. Snapchat is big as well. Is it big for real estate? It's got a very young demographic. I don't know if those people are buying homes yet, but it seems that a lot of people like telling their stories on Snapchat. So if you want to get in front of that group, post where you're at, what you're out, you're looking at a house, you're taking a video, you're at your open house, then you might want to do that on Snapchat. And you can definitely engage back with people on Snapchat as well through the replies and the chats and things like that. And then Facebook Live. We already saw, again, how Lee Brown did that video through Facebook Live, and we saw that it was like huge engagement. So as a result of that, you know, Facebook Live is working. Guy Kawasaki, who used to work for Apple and Motorola, big marketing guy. If you're not familiar with him, he does Facebook Live videos almost every single day. You can follow him, see what he's doing. He does unboxing of his new phone, but I think he gets a lot of comp stuff because people love him. But he's a big marketing guy. But the thing is, he is all over social media, and he gets a lot of engagement on his Facebook Live videos. But so what you're going to do is you're going to make those relationships online, and you're going to take them offline. Meet for coffee, you know, connect with people, meet them face to face, show them homes. Just make a phone call. Say, hey, I saw it was your birthday today. You know, happy birthday. Instead of just clicking on them on Facebook and saying happy birthday, but take the online offline. So here are some simple tips to remember. Create a social media marketing plan and a consistent brand. So remember, consistent photo of yourself across all sites, consistent cover, and create a daily routine that you can stick to. And be consistent and professional, so don't fly off the handle on social media. Don't do a rant. Save your rant for your domestic partner, and just stick with it, because as I said already 3 times, it's about the marathon, not the sprint. Use lots and lots of photo and video, and engage back with those who interact with you. So if they say something like, oh, that was so funny, you know, say something back. Or if they say, oh, I don't like that beach, I like a different one better. Well, good to know. Which one do you like? You know, be authentic, be yourself. So you can rev up your social media by sticking to a regular schedule. And of course, when you get off, if you have 10 more minutes, create your Facebook lists before you go out to your next activity and boost your posts. And we talked about being authentic. Set in place tools to continue to deliver value through social media over time, not just this week. And definitely convey trust, fun, and enthusiasm in everything you do. So the bad stuff, you want to keep that to the side. And whatever you do, just stick to your plan. For me, I'm not going to say I'm the best salesperson in the world, but all I can say is I'm very good at sticking to a plan. And if you can stick to your plan, I can tell you, people, you get noticed. People call you, they contact you, they want to work with you. So stick to the plan over and over and over and over and over again. And if you're going on vacation at Christmas, pre-schedule your posts while you're on your vacation. So that's what it means to stick to your plan. And it's all about being intentional and controlled. And if you do all that, then you will be successful. So as we just pretty much hit it, it's the top of the hour, and if you've got any questions, I'm going to stick around right now and look at the questions section. For those of you that have things to do, thank you so much for attending, and feel free to email me or contact me offline or through any of the social media sites if you want to chat more about your social media strategy and productivity in real estate. So I'm going to go to the questions now. And for those of you who want to stick around for those, thank you. You will all get a replay of this webinar in a couple hours via email, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so yeah, Canva, you can do all sorts of stuff on Canva. You can even buy pictures on Canva, so you don't have to bring your own photography to Canva, but do remember, you can't just take a picture from the internet and use it. You have to have the rights to it. There are some, I think I'll post later today, there is a few sites where they've got free pictures that you can use without permission. If you want to use any of those, then you can use those on Canva with text. But just be careful about just taking any old picture off the internet and using it. You've probably heard you can't use old MLS pictures for your MLS. You know, you've got to do that yourself. So with regard to Canva and the photos, you're correct. You definitely have to either buy those or use photos that you have permission to use. About posting blog posts on LinkedIn. So there is, they don't call it, I think they call it a post, I can't recall, but there's like an upload content button at the top, and you want to add a big picture for those. And how often would I do that? I mean, honestly, I'm unfortunately have not incorporated that yet, but I think a good rule of thumb is to just get 5 or 6 articles up there, and then you can post a little less regularly, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks you can add a post. Of course, there are people that post every day all the time, but if you've also got a blog and got all these other things going on, as long as you have some content there on a fairly regular basis, I think you'll be okay. How do you get people to like your business page? So with regard to liking your business page, you've got, you can actually create a campaign to get people to like your page. You can reach out to people like your page. You can invite friends to like your page. But over time, I would encourage you to set a goal for a number of followers for your business page, and just once you get to a certain number, like 800 or 1,000, if you can get that high, then they almost seem to start adding themselves, because all those people are kind of sharing your content for you. To those of you that are signing off, you're welcome, and thanks for your messages. Karen's asking me about Facebook boosting, and I think I kind of talked about that, but how much would you spend? Depends on the budget. I think for an open house, no more than $20. And I would try, if my open house was on Saturday, I would probably do the post on Wednesday night and then boost it on Thursday morning. And I would just, so it would just be boosted on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that's how I would really try and get people to my open house. And definitely when they're at the open house, ask them how they heard about the open house, so you'll know if your boost was working or not. There's a gentleman that works in my office who is very, very good at with his Facebook and his boosting, and he's gotten a lot of people that message him afterwards saying, hey, I couldn't come to the open house, but I wanted to meet you because you're friends with so-and-so, because he was using friends of friends strategy, and I want you to help me buy a home. So then he puts him with a lender and moves forward from there. So I was surprised about the quantity he was showing me fairly recently of messages he had in his Facebook Messenger from people who messaged him because they saw his boosted friends of friends posts about open houses. And he tries to run an open house almost every single weekend. So let me see what else we have for questions here. Email marketing. I did talk about email marketing today, but if you go on my YouTube page, then there is a great video about email marketing newsletter video, which was a webinar. I think we did that webinar 1 month ago or 2 months ago, but that's a whole 1 hour on how to create an email newsletter and email marketing campaign. So I think that's about all the questions. I had to talk fast to get all the content in, and we're over 1 hour. So thanks, guys, for joining me today, and just best wishes to you as you move forward with this wonderful and exciting and turbulent career in real estate. Bye.